And here we are.
Hello. I'm about to say, are we on yet?
No, we are here. We are here, 239 Live Studios with Lois.
And Kristen.
Oh,
And Sister D.
and she's over here doing her magic.
D, I have you a blueberry donut over in the box. Well, I don't, but we're going to play like it.
Robert was very helpful
It
with
was
your
very helpful
with your
for you
blueberry
guys
situation.
and getting that. And here we are.
Today, what's going on? And
Everybody, it's always a bad hair day.
it's
With
the
this humidity. The humidity is also, that makes my clothes shrink sometimes.
It's we're just at the beginning in September. We're just gonna ponytail it and call it done.
Yes. And we're getting,
Actually, I'm getting a haircut, I think.
how short?
I'm taking off like 6 inches. I know, right?
Well, that's not too bad because that'll grow back fairly quickly, and I don't because you always kind of wear it back.
I wear it, yeah. So it's gonna be probably the length of what's on the
It's a
other
nice
side.
color. If you,
Yeah, I just need to it's summer. It's too hot for this long hair.
man, I miss my long hair after COVID. Well, you know what? I don't know that I ever had COVID, but I'm going to assume that I did because my hair fell out.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Yeah,
And
so
it only kind of half grew back, but
and
here we
I
are.
kind of looked like Beetlejuice for a while,
Oh,
and
fun.
yeah, and so then I started keeping it short, and it's okay. I'll,
Short in Florida in the winter or in the summer is the way to go. I don't look good with short hair, but
I bet you do.
yeah, I have
I
such
t-
a long neck. I look like an ostrich.
no, that's how you think you look. I bet you look.
Obviously, it's all, this is what we do to ourselves, right?
That's exactly.
Have this talk
Yeah,
last
we
week.
just had that talk last week.
Coffee.
Well,
Should probably do some of that.
you got some coffee? I just have tea. I have tea and someone
I had
just,
coffee earlier. If I do too much, then by like 3 o'clock, I want to take a nap
yeah,
because it
you have to
brings you
keep
so
it going.
high,
You have to keep it going.
or you just have to keep drinking it. So 1 cup a day, that's good.
Well, today,
How much
for
coffee do our guests drink? That's what,
you guys
and our
drink,
and our people out there listening. Let us know how much coffee you drink.
it peeps in the hood, and do you drink that mud water or mushroom
Oh
coffee?
yeah, I haven't tried that. My sister likes it. I don't know. I like.
I tried it once and I thought, I don't have time to go through that getting used to it. I just want to get it. I only have one
I'm gonna
cup of
grab
coffee.
and go.
Yeah, one cup
Grab
of
and go.
coffee, and that is it.
All right. So let us know in the comments who drinks a lot of coffee. Way too much.
Oh my
Yes.
God, who said that? Yeah, too, yeah, way too much.
Uh,
Okay, TOO, I'm going to be a witch today. No, I got to tell you that I am truly blessed. And I found out
oh
there was
yeah.
another blessed soul in here rushing around this morning to get to the county commissioners meeting because I always do the pledge. And I don't do the pledge, but I get a veteran to do it every second Tuesday. And as I got in the car and we're driving, I said, "Oh God, Wayne, I left my phone at home. I'm gonna drop you off in the front of the building. You going up and meet the veteran, and then I'll just come back." And then I'm at the stoplight at within the government complex and 41, looking at the old Dunkin' Donuts, and there was my phone sitting on the hood of my car.
Oh, heart stopping.
I thought, it's like this wave of heat because it's like, oh my gosh, this
Mhm.
thing's going to fall off. I thought, well, it hadn't fallen off. So I cut across, went and picked it up. And I just thought, how did that happen? And then Dee just told me her story.
Yep.
They drove from here to Miami with the phone on top of the
It
car.
must be that little
Yeah,
ring
I'm
that we
gonna go
have
back
now
out there.
must
I don't
help.
want to do that again, but I tell you what, I had
Don't
palpitations.
recommend,
Oh,
but
no, I had palpitations after working on that. So what'd you do on Memorial?
actually I ended up working. It ended up being a work day for me. So I don't know about anybody else out there, but when you have that pile on your desk that are not urgent but need to be
Yeah, just dealt with.
dealt with, I did the pile. And I have to tell you, there were some things in there that I was like, I don't know how old my roof is. So then I have to stop and research and look for the permit and stuff. So yeah, just a lot of little stuff. Cleanup day.
Cleanup day and
Cleanup
just
day.
being around. Did you watch the any of the parades or the
Oh,
music?
I watched all the stuff that everybody was doing because everybody was posting online.
Yeah,
So I did have FOMO.
yeah,
I had total FOMO for the one over at Hodges,
right.
which is the one I wanted to go to the most. But then I was like, ugh, torn because it's a day where nobody's going to ask me for anything because it's a holiday.
Yeah,
And then and going. So I got to see all the pictures. Definitely had FOMO.
Yes.
That looked like a great event. And then there was another event yesterday. Was it at the VFW or
VFW and also down on Marco. I've got some pictures of
the Marco one?
different things that were going on around the community, which is so wonderful to see. And they always have it posted somewhere, whether it's in the newspaper, Florida
Yeah.
Weekly, or something. So there was something for everybody.
There was something for the kids, something for the adults. There was fun things. There was very emotional things.
Oh yeah,
It was a great day, but a day of remembrance for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, and it was nice. And the VFW had their hamburgers, and there's just nothing. I don't eat hot dogs a lot, but I'll tell you that they do great
When
hot
they do
dogs
them
there.
on the grill,
Yes, and they
and
get out of those
yeah,
cars.
they get the stuff around it, and it's the only time you have it
Yeah,
is there's like 2 or 3 times a year. Like this 4th of July and Labor Day or something like
something
that.
like that.
That, I don't eat them either, but I will eat one when it comes off of those grills. I don't know why. It's so bad for you, but it's so
Well,
good.
I go by Costco and I think about that hot dog. That's a good hot dog at Costco, but it's so big, so we could split
Yeah.
one. And
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
but I won't do that either because the next day,
Oh, yeah. Couldn't do it before show for sure. I'd look like
is there
a
some
chicken.
pills you can take so you don't bloat after you eat something like that?
I don't know. We can look it up.
Somebody, do you have any tips on that, on how you can eat a hot dog and not blow up
Yeah. Not get the pumpkin head.
like the ant Harry Potter and float away? Oh gosh. Okay. Well, I just wanted to show a few of the things that went on. I got a couple of things that went
You
on
want to start with the other ones? Yeah.
around the community. I think I sent you some, D. Not the cheesecake, but the different event.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
What's we got here?
Yeah. And I was this is the Southwest Florida Young Republicans that spoke
Okay.
there, which I was so happy to see, the young
Younger.
people, because especially the young Republican group and the young whatever political groups, that they're actually investing in what's going on.
Yeah, I don't care what side you're on. Just get
Yeah.
educated.
Just get
Yeah.
educated,
Yeah,
learn
for
some
sure.
facts, and did a great job. And there's Commander Leone, I believe that's his name, and they put on a fabulous program for the Collier County Veterans Council, and for any veterans organizations or organizations that support veterans issues. You need to belong. It's only like $50 or $60 to belong to it, but they need that constant, help with funding and stuff.
Right.
Um, so I really would love to see some people go out there and support them because they really do good stuff. And then we headed over to the VFW, and they were doing their color guard. And I took that picture because I love up at the top the
First thing
250,
I saw was the 250.
and it's great because when you think about it, this is end of May, then we'll go June, July,
We're
and
there.
July 4th is the culmination.
We're the ramp up now.
Yeah,
The big ramp up.
yeah. So there I got Wayne, and there's the color guard. They do a lot in this.
This man on the end looks so familiar. I must see him at a lot of things.
Yes, why can't I think of his name?
He looks very
I see
familiar.
JB Jack Fulmer down at the other end.
Yeah, I see him at a couple of things we've been to.
Yeah, he's always I'm drawing a blank. Somebody, if you remember, let me know. And
Yeah, we love it when the comment sections help us out.
yeah,
Sometimes.
so
we can't remember everything.
our crib notes. Okay, so what's some of the other ones? And here we go. Commissioner LaCastro. I don't know if you have subscribed to his
Newsletter. The
but he
newsletter is great.
does a great job.
There's a couple of the commissioners.
Thank you, IH. We know who does that. We know who gives her the information. We know who also helps to make it happen. But Rick, Commissioner LaCastro
Of
does a
information.
great job. Yes.
And I'm not even in his district, but it's nice to hear what's going on.
Yeah.
I get his and one other person's. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Are you
but-
Chris Hall?
Yes,
That
Chris
would
Hall.
be yeah, he does a great one. Now they all are doing, and it's great. But I just noticed that he was at Marco, he was at VFW, then he went to Lely, and he went to a couple other places because there were. He did, yeah. He always tries.
Well, you too.
Yeah, well, I made 2 things. That's not really the rounds, but it's nice, and I always make sure that I'm going to try to get those because I want to support the Veterans Council and of course our VFW.
Right.
And any other place. And I just took that picture of him because he looks like a Marine. Because he is a Marine.
Right.
And he's a new president, and he's just He's a sweet force. I'll put it that way. He's very, very, you don't confuse sweetness for weakness, but
True.
that was one of the picks. Let's see. Ah, Madison Cawthorn was there, and there is Chris Worrell, who is one of the J6ers. Um,
Okay.
for 3 years, that was
Oh,
locked
that's
up.
right. He's from here.
Bad, yeah.
He's from here.
Didn't give him his. They just. I'm going to go there, but I think it's great. They're going to give reparations for that because I think they deserve it.
There was a few fundamental rights.
Yeah,
That
yeah. That they sort of like due process. I still have
that's all
that.
I say is I was like, you know what? There's some rights there that might have been a little
In
gray
my jewelry
area.
box, I have due process tonight. I can't peel it off with that bill, so I just leave it there. And
Yeah.
there's our state rep, Yvette Benaroche,
Oh,
Marco,
great, great.
and that they always put on a great program with their American Legion, and so we're happy to have her. And she seems to be doing a pretty good job. I keep up with all the stuff that she's doing.
Yeah, I haven't heard a lot, but what I heard has been good.
Yeah,
So I guess that's a good way to
yeah.
go.
She's out there doing, doing the right thing, banging on the right trees. And but she is not afraid of anything. I will tell you that.
No, she's a spitfire
Yes, she
for sure.
is indeed. Okay. And this was in Bonita Springs. They always do a very sweet ceremony. It's at the park across from Sugar Shack.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, right, right. What is that? Riverside Park or something? It's called. I can't remember the name.
I have to have my notes in front of me. You know how if I've
I
lived here
forgot.
47 years, and I just go things by visual. What's it near?
Where
So
is it
so
near? Yeah.
find it.
Yeah. Same.
Have to
Same.
have some
Same.
kind of visual thing. So great job, Benita. Very nice. And so there are lots of other things that went on. We had Sarasota, where our Gold Star mothers went up to put stuff on their sons and daughters.
Explain to
Right.
people what a gold star mother is,
Okay.
because
Well,
I don't think everybody knows.
okay. Well, a Gold Star mother is, and a Gold Star family is a family that has lost a loved one in war.
Okay.
Okay. Or effects of war. Like it may not actually be in it. They may have died from some causation from it. And that's our Gold Star mothers. And our Blue Star mothers are mothers that still have their, like my daughter-in-law, she's a Blue Star mom. Her son is in the Marines. And so that's it. And then they have the Silver Star, and those are wounded families that had severely wounded. You don't hear as much about them, but Blue Star and Gold Star, we sure
Heard
don't.
those.
Yeah, we surely don't want any
Well,
Blue Stars.
now our audience knows.
Gold Star, yeah, and they,
Because I don't think I think people talk about the terminology a lot, but they don't talk about what it means.
yeah, and they kind of, and they don't mean to slip over it. We just
It's
make
just an
assumptions that
assumption.
everybody knows.
Right, right. It's just an assumption. So do you want to do the days?
I guess, yes.
Do you want to?
If I have this cup, I'm going to get a good workout.
That's a big one for you.
It is. I just got it yesterday. Someone brought me a bunch of patriotic
Okay, okay.
little muggies, and I just thought, oh, I'm going to carry some tea with me in that because.
Well, our next guest we can talk to about getting ones for the show.
Well, there we go. I understand that. I'm looking forward to that.
Did we want to cover what happened in California, or are we going to skip that? That's okay if we do, because I know it's a little controversial. Or you want to cover it later?
We'll do it later, but I
Okay.
think that's because that was heartbreaking. Because I remember that little fella. I did not know him, but I remembered his
Yeah.
story and so forth.
Well, let's
Do our
yeah,
days.
the days.
There'll be days like this, Mama said. Aha.
Look at this.
Yes, National Blueberry Day.
That's what we were talking about, where Robert saved the blueberry situation today. He brought a blueberry donut.
And did you know there are 17 best you pick blueberry farms in Florida?
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know we had blueberries in Florida.
I remember a friend used to go and pick them and bring them to him. I didn't really think that
I
much
would do
about it. But we used to remember the strawberry farm.
Yeah.
we
Oh,
had
we
down
used to
on
do
the
that
corner.
all the
Oh,
time.
that was so sad that
Yeah.
we missed that. But if you go blueberry picking, let us know where you go. You pick you pick blueberries. I'm trying to figure out some of the names. I hate these long things. Just give me the names.
Just give you the info.
Just give me the
point it.
Give me those bullet point for those short attention span folks.
This is why AI is becoming so popular. You
Yeah.
can just put an article in, it'll bullet point for you.
Yes, exactly. That's what I should have done in the beginning. But anyway, if you pick out blueberries, let me know and I'll have you get me some.
I want to know where the closest place is. I want to go, and what time of year, because I want to go.
All I know is right now, Florida's known for its beaches. Ba 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 ba. Grab a bucket. Ba 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 ba. Sunflower fields too, and strawberry farms in Florida. Ooh,
Strawberries, I knew. Sunflowers, okay. I thought it
yeah.
would be too hot, but all right.
Oh no, no, they like the sun. Do blueberries? No, blueberries do not grow year round. They require a period of dormancy, meaning they must go through a rest period. In Florida, blueberry bushes typically go dormant during winter months and then begin to grow in spring. Yes, there are many blueberry farms. Aunt Zelma's Blueberry Farm in Gainesville. We don't want to go that far. Blue Bayou Blueberry Farm. Oh, how cute is that name? That's in
Blue Bayou.
Jacksonville. Blue Bayou. Kent's Blueberry Farm in Jacksonville. And we got another Jacksonville. Palatka, that's still way up
Maybe
there.
because it gets colder up there for a period for it to be
That
dormant.
might. Lakeland. Lakeland's not
Okay,
too
like,
bad.
it's not bad.
Lakeland's not too bad. Got
It's
two in
drivable.
Lakeland, and Winter Haven has one. It's still a little bit closer. Another in Winter Haven. Williams. Where's Mims, Florida? MIMS. Anybody know where Mims, Florida is?
Let's look it up. Maps, it is.
Claremont. Okay, so we know we can hit up a couple of. I need to learn some of these cities here. I know where Sarasota is.
Yeah, Mims is by Titusville.
Titusville. Okay. Okay, so now there are places if you want to go get the fresh blueberries and strawberries. That
So
they,
from the center up, it seems. The center of
yeah,
the state up.
more,
Yeah.
more up in that area. Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right, my darling.
Then
What's
we-
next for our wonderful days? Ah,
World Redhead Day.
I love that. Scotch Irish. So we had a lot of redheads, and I remember
Fiery.
when I was a kid, my mother said, "Oh, I just love those little redheaded babies. I just love them." And I thought, "Why are you saying that?" You don't understand when your mama does stuff. You just that's so natural. You see it, and
I know a couple. Growing up, I had a few friends, but not many. It's definitely not a lot of
no,
redheads.
no.
So today is World Redhead Day. On World Redhead Day, we celebrate the fiery personalities and unique beauty of redheads around the world. Wear your ginger pride and loud and proud.
Ginger. Yeah, we have a ginger that was on the city council or ran for city council, as I recall. You
Okay.
remember him? Big,
Mhm.
tall guy.
Mhm.
Oh, Diana just gave us to backtrack $150 Costco for blueberries. Thank you, Miss D.
Thank
So
you.
you already have your blueberries. So I won't have to sweat that I didn't get you something.
That must be why when I bought them this weekend, they tasted so good, is
Ah,
because they're in season.
they're in season and ready to.
Usually, you go to buy something, you're like, is it going to be good? Is it going to be,
Has a
especially
flat
for,
taste.
yeah, yeah.
Has a flat taste. Okay, what do we got next, darlings? I not. It's, there's another picture that goes. This world. It's paper airplane day. Now, as a kid, I used to fly paper airplanes.
Really?
Yeah, it was always great fun. But here's the kicker. In 1985, the world record for the longest distance flown by a paper aircraft was set by Tony Fletch of England with a distance of 34.2 meters.
That's almost 100 feet, right? Yeah.
That is
Just short.
112 feet. You're right.
112. Okay.
112. It's a lot. You figure that's almost
That's far
112
for a
feet.
paper airplane.
Divide by 3, 112, 3, be 30, would be a third of a football field. Is that what that is? Anyway, that's a long day, and they have paper airplane contest. Did I put a picture of a paper airplane? We should do that in school a lot.
Yes.
Get in
Yes.
trouble.
You should decorate them, see how far you can make it go. I don't think I was very good at that.
Well, you probably never played football with the little wrapped up thing that you could flick between them.
Oh, I went to such a strict Baptist school before I went to Naples High. We had dividers in our classrooms, so you couldn't talk to the people next to you.
Oh, well, that was,
It was
where was
like
that
a
at?
prison.
Where was that at? Where was
It
that?
was actually Seagate Baptist School on Seagate Drive,
Oh,
where
what
the
was that?
rectory is now for St. William's. That was a full school. That old building that used to be there before they built
Right,
this,
right.
that was my school.
Wow.
Yeah.
That, I didn't know.
Yeah. There's little things people don't know about me. I don't
That
flesh them out
and
there,
that's
but
well, that probably was a good thing to have and to do is to not let you get distracted with those.
we definitely had to focus. We got recess and stuff like that. I can't say they didn't allow us
Yeah,
those things.
yeah.
And we even had a soda pop machine in our lunchroom. Wild, I know.
Wow, go
It
crazy.
was like a quarter.
Yeah, 25 cents home. Long gone the days. Oh my gosh. Okay, what else we have, dear? Sally Ride Day. You remember Sally
I
Ride?
remember she was on the Challenger, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right. And she was also the first woman in space, and her groundbreaking achievement that continues to inspire young girls around the world.
Oh, what a great tribute.
Yeah,
What a
so
great
that's
tribute
Sally Ride Day.
to space and science.
And
Oh, this
the
is fun.
Lindy Hop. Do you remember that?
My grandparents used to dance in the living room. We'd move the coffee table and they had the big console and they put on a record and yeah, get ready to swing and jive on World Lindy Hop Day. Time to dust off those dancing shoes and celebrate this joyful dance style.
May 26th is World Lindy Hop Day. The lively and energetic dance style originated in the 1920s in Harlem, New York City, and quickly spread across the world. It's a mix of jazz dances, incorporates elements of tap, Charleston, and breakaway moves. Not only is it a fun way to stay active and express yourself, but it also holds a very special place in our history as a
Mhm.
symbol of unity and joy during difficult times. So let's celebrate this day by putting some swing music, busting out our best Lindy Hop move. I always love swing music. I love dancing.
I love watching the movies, all the movies back then, or were period movies even, and they have the dance sequence scenes. And I'm just like, wow, why don't we dance like that today?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, instead
That
of
would be great. I think the
the
closest we get to organized dancing is like line dancing
line
or
dancing.
things like that.
It's
But
cute to watch too. But
yeah, it
line
is.
dancing and
And it's so, every time you watch it or listen to the music, you're just like,
yeah, you can't help but
even if you can't do it, yeah,
get a little bebop.
yeah, you get a little bebop going.
Yep, yep.
So bebop some Lindy today.
Bebop some Lindy. Shag, that's what I was trying to think of. Shag music from or beach music up in the Carolinas because I'm from South Carolina, and we would go to Ocean Drive, which is now North Myrtle Beach, but I still like to call it Ocean Drive, and that was the
From Beach
shag
Street.
capital of the world. Somebody might want to argue with me about that, but I think that's what it
Who would
was.
want to argue with you,
I don't know.
Lori?
I don't
Come
know.
on now.
I did, yeah. What the heck? I don't really care. But it's World Shag Day, and got to go by Costco. I'm looking at the little notes coming in here. And I think that's all of our days,
That's
right?
it. Okay.
And how about we'll talk about this guy last, and then I'll
Okay.
bring up
Yeah,
this
you
guy.
can
But
think.
I really want to get in to talk about the guest because he comes in here, and then all of a sudden he's met everybody here.
That's awesome. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Why don't you come on up and have a seat?
And you want to introduce him? And
So I've
how
known
did you meet him?
Adam
Yeah.
I've known Adam for a few years. He was actually one of my first guests that I've ever interviewed for the Kristen Weirden podcast. And Adam has started his own company called Elevation Marketing, which is how a lot of people know him now.
Huh.
But he also had a life before that and a very interesting story leading up to it, which I'll let him tell. And he does a lot for the community. He helped my son with his pole vault in the plaza event.
Ah.
So he's very involved. I saw him and interviewed him again at the John Hoffman event briefly as a guest, and just an all around great guy and very smart business person. So, Adam, thank you.
Elevate
Thank
Marketing
you.
Solutions. I pulled you up right here. So
Good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing?
great.
We're
Good to
doing
see
great.
you. You walked in, you knew who my husband was, you remembered me, and then
That's
it's
right.
like, yeah, it's just like old home week here.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you so much for having me.
No, this is great. I was telling them earlier about your story because I remember when you were on, it was 24 when I did the Kristen Weirden podcast, and you had just started Elevation, but not really.
Right. Right.
So tell us a little bit about your origins in Elevation and how you decided to make the jump,
Yep.
and then we'll go from there.
Sure. Sure. So it was actually during COVID is when I started this business. Believe it or not, and so many people. We could talk about COVID in such a negative sense, but for me, it was actually opportunity. And I look back at the story and say, we started this business during a pandemic,
Yeah.
which is crazy, but it was all about perspective, right? So during that time, we all had a little bit more time on our hands, right? So,
Yeah.
I'm a self-taught graphic designer, back from high school, and I leaned in a little bit more on those skill sets and found opportunities to kind of open up my, book of business and try to work with more and more people. And it was during that time I was working for a home care agency. And, during that time in healthcare was very difficult, right?
Oh God,
Being in and out of the hospitals and the rehab facilities. And, a lot of these home care companies were struggling. They were going to lose their business. Now, being a graphic designer, I was like, this is actually more of an opportunity for a home care agency now more than ever. So I created a one-page flyer that literally just explained why home care was so relevant during that time. And I went to Facebook. And I went to some of these, home care groups, and a lot of negative energy with what's
yeah.
going on and not being able to do sales and get out to their accounts. And, I offered a group, just complimentary. I said, I'm willing to make
So
this
this is what I
flyer.
love about
Yeah.
the story is it didn't start off as I'm going to do a business. It's like, how can I help my industry?
Right, right. And that's what I go back to is like this business was born off of good intentions, right? It wasn't born because I was trying to take advantage of an opportunity or, trying to make quick money overnight. It really happened because I was intentionally trying to help a community that was struggling. Um, so I posted in this group with about 4,000 home care owners, and I offered to create this flyer for them at no cost. And overnight, I had over 200 people reach out.
Oh,
Oh my Lord.
And so
wow.
so much so that the administrator of the group reached out to me the next day, who now Greg Mazda is a friend of mine. And he said, "Do you want me to, pull down this post?" He's like, "I don't know how you're gonna keep up." And I said, "No, again, like at the end of the day, like it's the right thing. I want to help, these home care owners and try to get them to market and being able to, still operate their business." And kid you not, one after the other. And the funny thing about the group was I told him, I said, at the end of the day, it's going to trickle down to the end of the group and it's not going to be a thing. Well, the settings in the group were when anyone would comment on that post, it would go back to the top. So, so it was a good amount of 2 weeks that I was, getting notifications and comments. And but it was a blessing because it was my opportunity to give back to that community. And I after like the 10th message of someone saying, "Okay, now what?" I said, "Well, what do you mean? I made the flyer, I sent it to you. Now what?"
Because they're used to going out and seeing people in person.
So they
Yeah.
they didn't they just didn't know what to do. So they said, "Well, where do I get this printed?" And I said, by like literally the fourth or fifth person, I said, "There's a issue here, right? There's a gap. There's a gap. So let me try to fill that." So kid you not, within a short couple of weeks, we got set up with a printing conglomerate, and we started drop shipping flyers, just across the nation. And it started working. And that was what the exciting part was because people's businesses were being changed and they just continuously came back and came back and came back and said, now we can offer business cards, we can do brochures, we can do their folders,
Right.
which then led to, can you do our, promotional items, our apparel? So it's been a fun journey, but it's kind of always goes back to the intentionality of it
Right.
was truly finding an opportunity to help a community and then down that journey, finding gaps and being a solution,
Just filling the
right?
solution, filling the gap. And
Yep.
so that was COVID. So that was 2020. And then we talked in 23. So what took you so long to say, I don't want to say so long, but
Mhm.
what was the catalyst that said, okay, I'm going to open my own business full time and leave the job behind?
Yeah, that was tough. I mean, I'll be honest with you. It was
We call that the entrepreneurial leap.
mhm. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
leap of
fear.
faith. Yeah,
Yeah.
It was fear. I wear this wristband and it says faith over fear. And
Mhm.
and it was fear. Fear overtook, that big leap. I was juggling the full-time job and the side business for a long time, about 2.5 years. And I remember it clear as day. It was you know, I it was after a Bible study actually, and one of the guys pulled me aside after the Bible study. He said, you've been asking for prayers for a long time about, your career path and what have you." He said, we've been praying for you for a long time."
What's
And
up, buddy?
yeah, and he said, he said, "It sounds like God's showing up in your life, in a great way." And I said, "Yeah, it's pretty remarkable." And he said, when God shows up and he's painting that path for you, and you're not listening, you're not being obedient, you're not taking that leap." He said, "That's sin in itself." And I
Oh,
just remember getting in my car and just bawl my eyes out, and
Oh,
that weekend had a long conversation with my wife, and just, took that opportunity to say, like, let's look at our finances. Does this make sense? And she was kind of like the she solidified it, because she said to me, she goes, what if you gave 100% to this? What would happen? And that was it. It was hard to do, but I ended up giving notice to my full-time job, and now looking back now, it's been 5 years and 6 years, and we've grown so much, and it's been a blessing.
I see. This is why I love this story, because there are people out there who go and they don't do the work prior to being taking the entrepreneurial leap. And here you had done all the work, and then we're still hesitant, which is responsible,
Right.
And as an entrepreneur, you have to say, is it time to take that full-time leap? And then there's people who take the leap, but they don't do the work.
Right.
And now I can't say that all of it is a bad thing. I think some people just don't know what's involved in being an entrepreneur.
Right.
I mean, I know I've tried a few things and they failed, because I didn't know all the steps that are involved in creating not only your own company. You can go get an LLC in Florida, no problem.
Right.
problem, right? But
It's do you have a business plan? I didn't have a business plan on my first one. And what a big difference, because even if it's just a one pager,
Hmm.
with chat and all those things nowadays, ask it questions, fill in the blanks, there's plenty of formats out there. At least have sort of a plan or a mission statement or something you can refer back to say, should I do this?
Right.
So you did all of that and we're still like, not
Hmm.
sure.
it was hard to pull that trigger. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, entrepreneurship, I mean, it's risk taking, right? And
Yeah.
I'm not a risk taker, to be honest with you. And that's why I think it took me so long. But to that extent, I think it was responsible in some way.
Yeah.
But entrepreneurship's a journey. I mean, and even through the years, like, no one really prepares you for those hurdles that you go
Mhm.
through. Those growth stages of, hiring new employees and
Oh
getting
yeah.
to that next level, or really identifying who you're serving, and making sure you're going back to the basics of making sure that you're aligned with your vision, and not outgrowing yourself. Always going back to the basics of why you started a business.
I love the concept working on your business, not in your business.
Right. Yeah, and that's hard, right? Because when you're in the trenches and you're day in and day out, and you just need 20 more hours a week, right?
Exactly.
I think we could all say that we would
Oh
all
yeah.
benefit from 20 more hours a week.
Yeah.
But it's true. It's being intentional and trying to find time to make sure that, because if you don't work on your business, like, it's true.
It's true. That's
You're
exactly.
never going to get ahead, right? And you continuously work in it. You just created yourself a job. You just created
Exactly.
yourself a job.
There's a difference
Right.
between what you're saying. I think that's another thing that new entrepreneurs have to learn the difference, and it is hard to make that transition. When you hired your first employee, like,
That would be hard.
Oh my gosh.
But that's the hard part.
It was actually remarkable. Sierra has been with me from day one. I hired her during the time I was still working the 9 to 5, and she was still in college, and I hired her really to just help me answer emails. you know,
Nice.
just because, I mean, you have to think about it. If I'm working a 9 to 5, I was committed to that, and then every night I would be working on emails to 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, and, so I said, "I just need to hire someone just to manage my inbox."
Yeah.
And, so kid you not, I mean, she came on and she started doing order fulfillment, and she almost didn't take the job. because she was scared that she didn't know how to do graphic design. And I said,
Mm.
I said, don't even worry about graphic design. I said, well, we'll get that figured out. I said, I just need you to answer my emails. And now fast forward, she's our director of operations, and she runs the ship, and she's incredible.
That's
Smartest
fantastic.
24-year-old I know.
What's your bracelet? It says fear. What does it say?
Faith over fear.
Faith over
Right.
fear.
So basically having that faith over fear, right? It's making sure that you don't let fear overcome you, and you have that faith, and he will provide, he will present those opportunities, he will, you know, rise to that occasion, he will paint that path for you.
I remember I was on the board of Outward Bound. The Outward Bound that was up in Maine. There's several divisions. And then I went on my week excursion. You have to go on that. And then we climbed the tree and we had to jump, like 40, 50 feet up onto the next log. And I'm thinking, big deal. What is this? And then I got up there and they said, okay, 1, 2, 3, jump. And that went about 4 times. They said, Lois, you got to jump. I'm like, I am trying to. My feet are saying no, but my head is saying yes. And so it took me a while, but I finally did it. But same thing as putting it on the floor. You could make that jump. That's no big deal.
Right.
And so that's that psychological thing that stops us, which is not real.
Right. Right.
Real.
Yep. Yep.
God bless. Oh my gosh, my daughter went to Outward Bound. She didn't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, I was on the board of Outward Bound.
And then Joe was up here before you there. He said hi.
Hey, who's Joe?
I don't know.
Oh,
Jay.
Jay. Oh, hey,
Jay.
check it
Jay.
in. J2.
J212.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what are some of the things you do in your business?
So it's actually funny. Everyone asks, well, what do you actually do? And it's funny because if you look back, as I said, we started in printing, right? And then we pivoted to promotional products and swag and gifts. And then, we went to apparel. Apparel has been a huge division. So we have those 3 pillars. So we have, graphic design, we have printing, we have promotional products and apparel. But more so than anything, we look at ourselves as time savers, right? Because there's so many business owners that are spending so much time on finding printing resources, finding stuff for their next event, finding all their tchotchkes for their upcoming, summer series. Is we have this model where we look at it as umbrella marketing, right? So we put everything under one umbrella. We have a one-stop shop mentality. We give time back to our entrepreneurs. So we understand the importance of brand consistency. So we really want to make sure that, your brand alignment is there. I see so many times when people are ordering business cards over here and they're getting their postcards over here, but their shirts are done from another vendor.
Yep.
They're working with 6 or 7 different vendors
Makes you
and
crazy.
there's no alignment, right? And that only hurts your brand, right? So it's like making sure that you have brand alignment. And again, we're building efficiency because you have a one-stop shop. You have us as a team.
Right.
We really look at our clients as partners.
Right.
Right. We don't want to just be an order taker. We want to be a problem solver. We want to be a solution. We want your business to grow, and that's where elevation came from. We want to see our businesses grow.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I like that.
Mhm.
I always wondered where the name came from. I don't think we covered that one in our conversation back then.
No. We actually rebranded. When we first started the company, it was Home Care Flyers. We were drop shipping flyers for home care agencies, and it was 2 years in when we rebranded to Elevation Marketing.
I like that though, because when you bring everything to one place and you're dealing with consistency,
Right.
you're immediately elevating yourself and your brand.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
That's
to
where
know.
it came from.
Now you posted something the other day on your Facebook. I'm not stalking. I mean, it comes up on my feed. And you said
I stalk.
yeah, Lois is over here stalking.
I'm doing it right now.
Doing it right now. You had something about AI and graphics, like when your client says, "Well, you tell me what you want," and you're like, "What?"
Well, we're
Explain that.
Yeah, we're going through a weird phase right now, right? And we were actually really early adopters on AI. We've been using AI for years, actually. More so as like a thought partner and kind of helping with like concepts and stuff, not necessarily as full dependency. And
Right.
so what we're seeing a lot is a lot of clients are fully dependent on AI, which is not a like there has to be a happy
I have a
medium.
story when you're done.
So,
That one.
what ends up happening right now is so many people will bring us designs that are generated from AI, and there's typos, and or it's not set up for print, or they don't understand
That's
the
a big
color
one.
codes. So it's like right now AI is great.
You still have to go in and match the colors when they do it and stuff like that if you want to print on a shirt.
So yeah, what we explained is like AI can get you to like the 3-yard line, right? And then you have to turn it over to a professional graphic designer or a professional, agency to make sure it's going to be done properly.
Well, and when you're dealing with a person that's a graphic designer, you don't have to figure out a prompt.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
That's right. Mhm.
Because that's the first thing I saw when I saw your post. I was like, yeah, because sometimes we don't know how to prompt it. If we knew how to prompt it, we could get a hell of a lot more done. But if you don't get the prompt right, because I played with it a few times for some things, I have a couple photos I did, and I was like, when I saw that, all I could do was laugh out loud.
Mhm.
And then shortly thereafter, I had somebody helping me with a project, and it was a packet for sponsorship for I'm doing a project right now as former Mrs. USA going to Mrs. Globe for the 30th anniversary, and I'm turning that into a promo package for businesses because it's expensive to do these things, but also there's some really great businesses out there I think could use some help.
Right.
And so she said, "Oh, let me do it for you. I have a deck already. I have a but I've made decks all my life." And I said, "Great." 4 days go by,
Uh-oh.
and she says, "I'm working on it, but Claude's being a pain in the ass." And I said, "But I thought you said you had decks."
Right.
And she goes, "Well, we have them in Canva, but you can connect Canva to Claude, but it wasn't spitting out what they needed." And she's like, This thing took me 6 hours." And all I could think of was Canva would take you half the time because you already have somebody in your company that knows how to use Canva. And she ended up having to give it to them. The concept was there, like you said, but it's a 9-page deck. And Claude was not having it,
Right.
especially when you have different photos on different pages and things like that. It was not, put this on this page, put this on that page. And she ended up giving it to her person who's always done Canva for them, but now has transitioned into AI within the company. And he did it the old fashioned way.
Right. Right. So it created double work in some sense, right? So
Yeah.
And I think we're all finding out its limitations. And I think for her at that moment, she was finding out the limitation that that Claude had for her. But I was just playing around in Canva the other day, and I suck at Canva. I mean, I think it's I don't have the patience.
Sure.
I like when you do the thing you do,
Mhm.
and you come up with the stuff you come up with. I'm like, wow, that's really good. Because for me, I'm just like, here's a line, here's an arrow. I mean, if you saw what I gave Diana, we were just talking about it today. I've been saying I'm going to redo it. It's literally like my picture, 3 logos, and I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know so you don't think it's going to be as you still need that human.
Today, I mean, I think AI is I mean, if you think about it, a year ago today, AI was not even close to where it is today from a design perspective, right? So the images that are being produced today with AI are years amazing from a year ago. So I think it's only getting better. Will I say it will ever completely replace? I don't know. I think AI is only as good as the person using it, like we said, right? So like having the right prompts, being able to navigate through that is a serious task.
I think you're always going to need the person who can do the prompt,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
think the best person for that would be somebody with a graphics design
right,
background.
right. Well, and like the kind of meme that I posted about like AI. AI is not perfect because again, we're not like graphic designers aren't mind readers, right? Like and again, like so being able to talk through with a graphic designer, like the that's why when we jump on discovery calls with people through a creative session, like there's certain things that I'm asking that I'm pulling information out that people probably don't even understand why I'm asking these things, but
Right.
it's helping me understand what direction I go for the design and the creative process. Now again, can AI do that? Yeah, but probably not as well or as a human today. But
Because it
again,
only knows what it knows.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or it could pull you in a totally different direction based off of another project that you're working on. So
Yeah,
I think,
they
you
can
know,
share
and
me
we've seen that too, right? You've seen AI that will pull in information from something that wasn't even relevant to that
Oh, yeah.
project. So it's like, you know, I think it's only getting better. And but as I said, I think it gets you like 90% through. So I think it's juggling both, right? Having someone that you can rely on, that you can turn it over. We actually just completely revamped our brand packages because we want to give our clients options and we want to meet our clients where they're at too. So we literally built a package where it's like you bring us an AI generated concept and then we will refine it.
Mhm.
Because again, we want to be able to meet our clients where they're at. We don't, you know, we want to be able to
Like, I
be
like this, but I can't manage to okay, so I've had that where they, you're on Instagram or something and they was like, use this prompt to get this thing.
Mhm.
And I've done that and you only change like your picture or
Right,
whatever. I ain't get anything close.
Yeah,
right,
Or it'll add things.
but they got your information, your address,
Because
and
of
everything else from that.
yeah, and they've pulled in something from another project.
right.
And I'm like, but I don't want it to say realtor because it's not that type of post. And I'll say, just remove the word realtor and it will remove 3/4 of whatever was there.
Right,
Like, what prompted it? Just that. And I'm
right.
just, never mind. Just take it, put it in Photoshop or put it in Canva and I'll wipe the word out myself.
But I will say this. I mean,
Beating people like 3/4 of the way. I get it. Yeah.
tools like Canva and AI, I mean, I will say, I look back at our agency, you know, 7, 8 years ago, or even when I was just doing freelancing. Like, I appreciate our clients having creativity, right? I
Right.
think it's a good thing. I think it's very healthy actually. Because at the end of the day, I am not everything that to everybody, right? I want people to have that creative nature. I want them to be able to bring me projects and we can work through things together. But so I think it's only good. I think it's only helping. But I would, if I could give any recommendation, I would just say don't be fully dependent on it because it does make mistakes. It does make typos. You know,
The typos are fun.
yeah. Oh, and it's a real thing. People have to make sure that they're actually, you know, looking at the stuff that's being produced.
See, this is why I think that AI will always have to have a human somewhere because it's just like when you use Excel, let's say, it only knows the sum of what you give it.
Right.
It can't create something that's just in your head. And humans interact differently than machines, and then you do with the computer. So I don't know. Based on your post the other day, I'm like, you're totally safe because that was me. I want you to read my mind.
Right.
And
Right.
if you have the experience, you can grab the information from it. So, I mean, that's my take on it, guys. I know I got some AI people out there that are fully
Yeah.
invested.
Yeah. And again, it all goes back to the prompts, right? So, I mean,
Yeah.
more you engage with it and I
Yes.
actually talk to like my chat GPT as like a person because the
Yeah.
more you engage with it as a human, the more it's going to interact like that.
Yeah.
So, it really is how you interact with it.
And then some people just don't want to get into it. Like, just like you said, they don't want to be calling 6 different companies. They want to go like this because time is money in
Yeah.
business.
Right.
Time is money. So they want to go, I need this and a shirt.
Right.
Can you make this happen for me?
Right.
And then you go, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Bing, there it
One
is.
stop shopping. You're done. You've got it. And it's one of those things that it just saves you money at the end,
Yep.
I think.
Mhm.
Because I used to be that person when I was doing the whole real estate, back when everything was printed.
Mhm.
You didn't do anything online. You did. You had this guy over here and 1, 2, 3, whatever, or 4, whatever, and
We've really we've found and actually a great example is your son's event, right?
oh yeah,
Events are a big part of like when you're trying to get an event together and you have all this signage or you have tents and the tablecloths and different signage and all the swag and the
there's too
bags.
much in
So
it.
there's so much that goes involved to an event, right? And then it's like so if you by working with 6 or 7 different people, right, that
Yeah,
don't maybe communicate together, there's no alignment. So it's like we've really found opportunities that when working with bigger events that have multiple factors to it, we really find great success because there's alignment across
yeah.
the board and we follow through and making sure that we understand the deadlines. We're going to get stuff where
And
I
even the fabric, there was a fabric need for certain things, whether it was the tanks or the long sleeves
Yeah,
and
the
the
tanks
recent,
are
because it's hot out and they wanted a wicking material, but then again, they had a budget. So
Mhm.
you were definitely able to find, like, if you need it to be in a budget, I can tell you Adam is great, but don't always give him that kind of budget.
Well, it's so funny, and you bring up the word budget because I just had this conversation last week. So when I ask people like, "Is there a budget?" I think people are fearful of like being forthcoming about that because some people are like, "Oh, well, you're just trying to
See where I'm at.
see how much money you're going to spend," and it's like, no, no, no. I need to know like where you're at so I can maximize your investment.
Or let you know you need to spend a little bit more to make it happen.
Right, because at the end of the day, like I don't want to present something that's way out of budget and then that's just time wasted, right? So it's like I really want to understand like is this a $5,000 event or is this a $25,000 event? Those are two different types of executions, right? And allows us to do a little bit more. But it also gives me an opportunity saying, "Hey, if your budget is this, but like you said, if you carve out another $1,000, it can get you this, this, and this, and this." Right, it's just about transparency, and I think instead of people being fearful of, like, telling that budget to feel like they're being taken advantage of, it's more or less me maximizing your dollars so you
Yeah.
can get more out of it, right?
then over time as you get to work with them more, they know that really is that trust thing.
Right,
Yeah.
right, and what's important to them, because some people's, things that are important to different people are, different.
It's different for
Yeah.
each business for sure. For sure. When if you had to say probably the hardest thing that you've had to deal with so far in your entrepreneurial journey, what would that be? Or the most difficult?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would say hiring. I
Really?
would say hiring, yeah. I think,
Yes, that was hard for me.
as a small business, it's finding the right people that align with your values and your
Mhm.
mission
Yeah.
and where you're going because and it's important, as a small business, we're a team of 6 right now. And every hire has had its challenges. But it really it was eye-opening for me as a leader because at the end of the day, you just want to make sure you have good people
Mhm.
that are going to show up for you and they're going to follow through on their commitments, but not forget the foundation. And
Yeah.
that's so important. And so I would say hiring and just making sure you have the right people on your team.
You do a lot of stuff in-house now too.
Mhm.
I see your
Yeah.
videos and stuff, and I'm
Yeah.
like, his garage is now putting out T-shirts.
We literally just moved to a bigger house in Bonita, for that exact purpose. We have a production room, we have a day-to-day office. You should see my garage. My wife
I saw the
would
boxes get
yeah.
delivered one day, and I was wow, there
Yeah.
had to be 300 shirts or something
Yeah,
that you got delivered.
UPS knows us by name. It's,
Yeah.
I know their schedule,
Yeah.
They know.
You're
it's
on each other's Christmas card list. Got
exactly.
it.
Yep, for sure.
If you had to give some advice out there to these new entrepreneurs in this environment, which is obviously very different from when you started, but yet has the same struggles, what would you tell them?
It really comes back to surrounding yourself with good people.
Mhm.
And I mean that.
That,
Entrepreneurship is can be a very lonely journey. It
Yeah.
really can.
Yeah.
And I don't think enough people talk about it.
That's what we talked about at the Hoffman event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think enough people talk about it, and I think it's about the people that you surround yourself with because at the end of the day, like, those are the people who are gonna lift you up down during times that you need to be lifted up,
Mhm.
um, and finding, those opportunities to lift other people up too, right? It's about the network that you're creating, and really just making sure you're aligned with the right people who understand your vision, who understand where you're going, and how you can support one another. Because
Mhm.
at the end of the day, it's about growth, but it's also about not losing focus on why you started, right? I've seen way too many businesses get too big too fast and lose vision.
yes,
Yeah.
because they're moving so fast that they just. Do you have weekly meetings or?
So we actually have a daily call every morning where we jump on for 10, 15, 20 minutes, just so there's alignment in and what everyone's doing. But we communicate all throughout the day. We're using tools like Slack or Teams to make sure that there's not duplicating work, and that we're all doing what we're supposed to be doing, but we're asking questions if we have it. It's important when you're working in an environment that is remote and not everyone's with each other that we're communicating clearly. So,
100%,
but yeah, we
100%.
get together every Wednesday. We get together in person.
Wednesday meetings.
That's right.
We
We have
do that.
fun. I would say we're probably a little bit less productive than we are on the other days, but it's also team building, right? I think
Exactly, is what you have to do.
being in person is important and building that team morale.
Well, it's when you look at business now, we get so much done, really, with all the tools and everything that we do forget that little moment where you can
That
take off and
connection.
like chat, yeah, and connect with your people or do something or
Yeah.
Remote work too took
Mhm.
some of that away.
yeah, and we do lose sight of that, and it's kind of
I think the day of thinking of if employees aren't physically present, they're not necessarily working. I'm a walking testimony of that. That's not true.
mhm.
I would say all of our employees get so much done by working in their environment and how they make it work and they find their way. But anyway, yeah, it's also meeting your employees where they're at too, making sure that they're comfortable.
They work at the home, some, yeah,
Yeah, Wednesday is the only day that we get together in person.
in person.
Mhm.
Well, that's pretty much the way computers and everything was set up to be to make America. That was obviously for Southwest Florida. That's great because that's what real estate's for.
Right, right. Well, again, we look at COVID where everyone went to a remote working environment, and a lot of people, didn't go back, or some people went back real fast. So, again, depending on the organization, it's shown that we can be productive without being physically present.
Especially with what you're doing outside of the printing part, the physical printing part.
Yeah.
Right.
Then you need to be present. But that's some of the things that came, like you said, Slack, some of the tools that came out, Zoom, things like that out of COVID.
Yeah.
Slack, I don't know Slack.
It's like it's like a messaging tool. So we actually use Teams. So basically like a inner system like instant messaging communication tool. So
It'll go ding and you go,
yeah.
oh, I have a message. So you don't have to check your emails. It just stays open on your computer.
Ah,
I get to hear it when my daughter comes to visit because
Right.
she'll have her 2 laptops open.
oh my
And
God.
all of a sudden it's like ding. And all of a sudden she walks back and she's like, okay, I already sent that. And she goes over to the other computer and sends it. She goes, it's in your inbox again,
Too funny.
So you don't have to pick up the phone and call people.
Right.
In fact,
Nice.
my daughter, okay, this is so funny. Have you met Olivia?
I don't think
No,
so.
only Simon.
Yep.
Only Simon. So get this, Lois. My daughter this was 2 years ago. She was working for a different company. And she goes, I don't understand. Why does my boss have to call me? Yeah, looking at the group up here, this is the way we think. But she was what, 25 at the time, post COVID. She went to college. The last year was COVID. It got hired during COVID. So talking on the phone was not a thing.
Right.
And even then, text messaging was big with friends and things like that. And I said, what do you mean? Boss is going to call you. Bosses call you. She goes, that's what I have Teams for. You set up a call to call.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean you set up a call? She goes, he doesn't know my schedule. I'm in the middle of something. He's interrupting my work time with a project that we have to talk about later. I'm like, but bosses, I couldn't fathom not picking up the phone and calling my employee or being called by my boss.
But it also brings up a good point. Like, think about this generation that would rather send a text versus pick up the phone and call, right? It's, I mean,
But yeah, sometimes you have to clarify, but I would much rather, my husband asked me that because he's old school.
right.
He used to run,
But so much stuff can get missed in translation through text or through email. Like, I think tonality is a thing, right? So,
Yeah.
no caps.
yeah. It goes back to, like, again, meeting your clients, your employees where they're at, but also having structure around, like, hey, this is how I like to communicate. So
Yeah.
I think that's also, it's a respect thing. I just had this conversation. I would love your take on it. What's your take on if you're on a Zoom meeting and the person refuses to put their camera on?
Is it an employee?
No. Well, maybe a client, or yeah, say you're in a group meeting and
Okay.
you have some employees, but then some clients,
I think if it's business related, everyone should have their camera on.
right? I do
If I'm
too.
paying for a course, it's up to me.
Right, right. That's fair. I think that's fair. Yeah, I think it's a respect thing, right? I think if I have my camera on, then I would
I'm
expect
present.
someone else. Right.
I
Yeah.
think it's like showing up dressed for work
Yep.
on a work day.
Hmm.
I think to me, showing up on camera. What do you think, Lois?
Yeah, no, I just was thinking, all I can think is a guy from CBS or whatever that was. Yeah, why not? You should be there so that you should have, you at least feel like you at least have that face to face and you're
Right.
not talking to the ether world or something.
Right. I just think like if you were to call a meeting and everyone was going to sit around a table, right, and half the people were sitting on their phones watching YouTube,
Yeah.
right, and then the other half were actually attentive, like it's almost like that,
Mhm.
right? It's a respect thing. So but again, it's
Definitely.
using tools that it's just interesting how people
I
interact.
think we're getting to the point where we're learning the etiquette of
Yes.
being
Right.
online.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, because I can see that if like depending upon who the person's having the meeting, if they just sort of blah 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 and go on and on and on, then you're like, okay, I can do two things at once.
Yeah, and like you said, if you're paying for a course and you're receiving the information how you wanna receive it, then, and
Kind of
you're in the
like,
middle of a workout, then you can that's up to you.
yeah.
Have you
Um,
had that happen recently?
yeah, we did actually, and it was interesting. I keep a short list of consulting clients, so, I have a couple home care agencies that hire me, and, they had an employee that would refuse to keep their camera on. Never, never, and it was becoming an issue, and
Becoming an issue for
for the
you or for the
no, well,
company
kind of both, right? Because I mean, if they're hiring me to be a consultant, like you're paying me every single week to jump on a call
and
to
to be
basically train your employee. And if they're not going to be present, then I have a problem with it because you're wasting my time. I'm still going to bill. So at the end of the day, like I would assume that the owner would have a bigger problem because they're bringing me into the table to be able to help that employee. That employee should be present. They should be in a position to, receive the information. So I think that was a big issue for them. But it
did
made
they
me think
resolve it or is it still in process?
it's no longer an issue.
It has been solved one way or
Well,
another.
there you go.
Well, I look at it this way too, is then my coaching hat goes on and I'd be like, hey, let's get on a call, physical call, and tell me why you don't want to have your camera on.
Mhm.
Because some people have an appearance issue.
Right.
I do know that. I've seen that with some of the calls that I've been on, and people are like, oh my gosh, my hair. And it's like,
That's
listen,
us.
yeah. When we get on, I'm like, what's going on
Yep.
here?
I don't have that problem.
But so I would want to kind of, see if there was an other issue except for, oh, I can multitask. It's fine. And then I'm like, okay, that's not working for us kind
Right.
of thing. At least for me, I know I can go by my daughter's company because hers was fully remote at one point. And when you showed up, you had to show up. I mean, it was a regulation. You had to be present. So the boss could see that you were present in the meeting.
Right.
I mean, I've done it on calls where I've just like put the picture of me up and they've been like, hey, can we all have our cameras on? And I'm like, oh, I'll put it on, but I'm just letting you guys know today was a bad hair day. And nobody cares.
Right.
But people aren't aware that nobody cares.
Yeah,
Right.
that's just how they feel about it. Or having the cat be part of the I've
Oh,
seen a few of those that are funny where the cat's there and part of the meeting.
But if you think about 10 years ago, we didn't have that option, right?
yeah.
You had to show up. You had to show up.
You had to
And
show up.
and that was it, right? So I think even just having the option nowadays is a benefit. I look at even our employees and they thank me for creating an environment where they can be remote, be home with their kids, be home with their dogs. It's a selling point to, when you're hiring new employees.
Now, when you know they're home
Wonderful
with their
selling.
oh, sorry, go
No,
ahead.
no, no. So it's a wonderful selling point
Mhm.
because that is important for a lot of people.
I always wonder though, and I'm sure Lois wonders too, like how do you set the milestone? Like is it a milestone you have to set or is it project work you give out? Because I know from working in an office, Lois and I come from office environments, like you're working, people give you tasks throughout the day, you're talking, there's interaction. Some days are more productive than others. But then when you're remote and you know people have their kids at home, don't you? The biggest question: don't you worry? Like it's not getting done.
I think I worked more hours when I worked remote.
Yeah. Well, and the way I see it is I don't care when, well, let me rephrase this. I don't care how it gets done as long as it gets done in the time frame that I have an expectation of getting it done.
Okay.
So I will tell you, I have an employee who, God bless her, because she is superwoman and she has, both kids at home and she makes it work. She, and she gets the job done. Now, how she gets it done, I don't necessarily need to know. I just know it gets done when it needs to get
So
done.
you have to let go of the how.
Right. And then, the other side of it too is like I have other employees that have no distractions and don't get it done. So it's like, it just finding how people work. So I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I would if things weren't being met, right? Then we would have to start addressing stuff. But I mean, I'm telling you, it's remarkable of how much she can get done with even having both kids at home. It's incredible.
Well,
I also think it's about like having balance too, because when I just had this conversation last week, it's like, we have one employee who will continuously work 10-hour days. And I'm like, we got to cut that back because I don't want you to get burnt out.
Right.
But let's have a conversation, because why do you feel like you need to work 10-hour days? Why
Right.
can't you get everything done in that 8-hour time frame? Does that mean you don't have good time management skills? Like, we need to work through this because I don't need you working
burnout.
70, 80 hours a week and burning out. It's not healthy.
Perfectionism and recovery.
Right.
Sometimes is
Could be
the
one
thing.
of those. I had a question I wrote down. I'm writing down so many things when I'm talking with you. Like, what do I? Oh, when talking with your employees, just understanding different personalities. If you clarify what your results are, here's the bottom line. I want you to get it done. Here's the time frame. If there's other criteria, look, whatever it would be. But as long as a person, for me, as my style and how I like to work, I'm results oriented.
Right.
I just want to know what you want. Tell me what you want and give me some other parameters and just move.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
I don't mean to be like bossy, but I do mean like move. I don't want to sit here and have to listen to over and over again.
Yeah, I think it's setting, realistic long-term goals and short-term goals and seeing and I've had this conversation over and over again. What's not measured isn't tracked, right? Like, right, you don't know what it's not measured. So for the longest times, like, how do you measure productivity? And that's sometimes hard, right? But I think if we look at certain KPIs and certain metrics, and it evolves, right? And because today we're at here and it might look this way, and as we grow, it might look a little bit different. And each employee might be measured a little bit different,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
one employee who handles a lot of graphic design might be measured one way, and someone who does fulfillment might be measured a totally different way. And that's okay. Not everyone has to be measured the same way.
Well, because of the personality, when you look at it, somebody's results on it, give it to me. Somebody is like detailed. I got to have this little stuff and that. Some of those basic fundamentals back in the old days,
Yep.
my old days.
Yep.
That's
I'm right behind you.
yeah.
But you trial it, right? You see what works, what doesn't work, and if it doesn't work, you pivot fast.
And you pivot fast.
That's the biggest thing is I've always had this kind of, if you're gonna fail, fail fast, but then move fast, right? So if it's not working, make sure that you're having honest communication and then trying to find a solution to that next thing.
Fail fast. I like that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Is that from any book or is that just something you just said? I'm going to
I'm
take it as
sure,
my own.
I don't know. No, I can't take credit for it. Gosh, I've had so many mentors in my life, right?
Okay.
So I couldn't tell you exactly where that came from.
Fail
I'm probably
fast.
Gary Vaynerchuk, actually. I take a lot from Gary Vaynerchuk. He also has a, kind of motto of, if you're gonna hire fast, but fire faster, right? And that kind of goes back to the same message. If that person's not working out,
Don't belabor it. Don't make it your agony or their agony.
right?
Or I always I forget who it was. I don't know if it was Jack Welch a long time ago or Stephen Covey. Go ahead, talk. I'm sorry. No,
This is what happens when you're live. You get frogs in
right.
your throat sometimes.
It happens, right?
But yeah, there's a lot of good mentors out there. I like Gary Vee.
Yeah.
And I've heard
Some
him
people
say that.
don't. Some, he's not everyone's cup of tea, but
What's not to love about him?
I mean, look, let's be honest. He cusses a little bit, but at the end of
I
the
get
day,
that.
I mean, I probably
Well,
wouldn't
for
let my
sure.
kids, yeah, my 8-year-old twins watch him too much. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think actually I had a long conversation about him not too long ago. If you actually look at like his content and like the principles, it's actually very aligned, even from a faith-based perspective. And if you really unpack his messaging, it's actually really interesting on how much it is aligned with even the word. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
interesting,
he's got a good philosophy on getting things done.
right?
And I know sometimes, especially after the storm and things like that, when I was really kind of struggling,
Oh God, I remember.
I would hear something, just, scrolling or whatever. I'd hear something. I'd be like, okay, just go get it done. Even if it's
Yeah.
just one thing today, just go get it done,
Right.
especially if it's something you don't want to do,
Hmm.
you know? Um, so he's always a little motivating for me,
Yeah,
or a good kick in the keister, as they say.
for sure, for sure.
Is that what he would say?
No, he would say a good kick in the ass.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, I'm looking at some of the people who do follow him because I just looked him up because my basic big career, my career is my husband over here. Take care of my puppy. He's the love of my life. That's our main thing in our house. And but then doing this and wanting to do good for the organization. But there's a lot of people that I know that really like Mr. Gary V.
He's got some messaging for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Adam, if people wanted to work with you, how do they find you? How do they find Elevation Marketing?
Yeah, we actually we love. I mean this wholeheartedly. We don't look at our clients as just clients. We don't want to be an order taker. We really like to get to know our clients. So I would encourage anyone to reach out to us, book a time where we can just jump on half hour, 45-minute call, just so I can understand a little bit more about you, your business, or your event or what you're looking to accomplish. And then I can kind of fill in and help understand where we if we're a good fit. And I think that's a big thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people have to understand, I don't know if I'm a good fit for you or not. I don't know anything about your business, right? Yes, you need a business card, but let's talk a little bit more past that. What else are you doing? Because we don't know until we start asking questions. So there's a way you can go right onto our website, elevationmktg.com, and book a call with us. And that's just a discovery call for us to get to know each other, and see if the gaps that you have right now are a solution that we can help out with. And if it's a good fit, then we kind of go into the next phase and understanding a little more details, and we'll go from there.
And Adam's on all the socials if you want to see some great,
I'm over here
some,
checking him
some
out,
great
all that stuff and everything. I'm not ignoring him or being rude, like I'm being on one of those live Zoom calls. I'm like,
Just so you guys know, she's been reacting to comments, looking up
I know.
everything he's
I
been
am
saying.
very impressed. Yeah, very impressed.
Where-
Multitasking at its finest right
She's a
here.
multitasker for sure.
I'm an
Plus,
ADHD.
she's interacting with the guests
Yeah.
because we don't want to interrupt you talking. So every time something pops up, Lois is like, "Thank you" or "Yes," and she starts reacting. I wondered for a while there, and I'm like, "We got a lot of comments today.
Yeah. So,
We got a lot of good comments."
so what? Nothing like real human interaction. But do people still use business cards because they've got these dot things and whatever? But it seems like that's like the last thing to let go.
It's so funny because I just
I
spoke.
went back to business cards because the dot never works for me.
Really? Well, it's funny. A couple things. I think I'm all about embracing technology into our deliverables and stuff like that. So I'm all for it. However, like there's certain industries, like I spent so much time in the healthcare industry where I had to leave behinds. So like there's so many salespeople that need to have these tools that have to be left behind. The other thing that I challenged, because someone challenged me the other day, like you're in print, like print's a dying industry, and I said, well, let me challenge you there.
You and internet.
Well,
Them to say that.
I said, we're literally at a networking group, like right now, like we're meeting people. I'm like, you're handing something out for someone to remember you.
Exactly.
I said, so wouldn't you want to take the opportunity to get a well-designed, uh, nice stock on a business card, something that's going to stand out, that someone's going to get home and remember you? And to this day, we really thrive in trying to find differentiators. So for years, I used these ultra thick 32-point stock business cards. Anytime I handed it out to someone, someone would touch and feel it and say, "Oh my
Oh,
gosh, that's good quality."
Yeah.
And I said, and right there, their first impression of Adam was good quality.
yeah.
Why would you not want to invest in something that's going to have your first impression to someone, maybe your referral source, maybe a
Yeah.
client, a potential client, to be good quality? So I don't think print's dying. I think print is not used appropriately.
Agreed.
So and I only get to, share that story when people understand and value print. So
I used to use Post-it notes at open houses. So it had the flap,
mhm.
and the front of the flap would have my information on it because they never throw it out
Like a
because
takeaway for them to.
yeah, it's got the big one and then the little flags at the
Oh
bottom.
yeah, yeah.
And I would give it to them, and I thought it was brilliant. A little pricey. I mean, it's great for an open house. I wouldn't use it for a networking event, but
Right.
for an open house, at least you always know it's there.
Do you have
Yeah.
any more left?
Yes, I
Just
do.
kidding. We're
I
bringing
have
you
a
on?
few. I have a few. It's hard though to get all that information on a small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's a logistical printing nightmare to make some of these things happen.
Yeah. But
It's
it's finding stuff that actually has good utility, that's going to work,
to be
that's
creative.
eye-catching. At the end of the day, it's just being different. It's setting yourself, outside of everyone else in the marketplace.
And I think if you have something like that, good quality, but they're going to recognize your face with that, even if they lose the card, that memory
Mhm.
point will still be
Agreed.
there.
Yep,
Yep.
that's right.
Don't think about
Agreed.
that.
Agreed.
That's why I love those.
All right. Well, let's tell us your website again.
It's Elevation MKTG, like the abbreviation of marketing.com.
Oh, that's easy.
Mhm. But you can find us on all social media, Instagram,
I just found out
Facebook.
everything.
Yep.
Lois was following.
New friend, and check
Right.
that out.
Well, hopefully you go home and have a lot of those.
Yes, yes. Well, I enjoyed seeing you again, and it was
Absolutely.
nice that you noticed that you remembered my husband. And so it's always funny how these things, 6 degrees,
It's true.
Kevin Bacon,
It's true. It's true. Full circle.
full circle.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh,
I
no, this
appreciate
is
it.
great. So informative too, because people, when it comes to um, entrepreneurship and marketing, they go hand in hand.
Mhm.
That's
For
true.
sure. For sure.
Yep. Well, Elon, well, for anybody like Elon, I don't know what he does or how he does it, but that definitely look at all the boys that have made it big, and ladies, I should say that.
That's right.
It's been great seeing you again, dear.
Likewise. Likewise. Thank you.
Thank you. So what do we have next, Lois? You're in charge.
I'm I'm in charge.
Well, only because you have the flyer there.
I have the thing there. Well, I kind of wanted to. There are two things.
Okay.
Whether it's
Well, we got our
good,
sponsor.
bad, we got. Oh, you know what? Partners. That's one thing I wanted
Partners.
to talk about. Instead of
Okay,
calling
we have
sponsors, they're
partners.
partners.
I love our
Some
partners.
are saying I was reading some stuff, and I thought because that's how I feel when someone does support you. They're mainly a partner. We want to make sure we elevate. Elevate. Now I'm going to always think of that. Elevate their name and thank them for being one of our partners. So,
Well, Amherst Roofing, thank you for being a partner with 239. And Frank and Son Moving and Storage, really appreciate you moving people around.
yeah, partner, when are you going to get up here?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
where we're
Got
going to, yeah,
when I get them on.
well, yeah, I want to, Kevin's met them. I haven't, and you haven't, I don't think.
No, I have not.
I'd like to get to see who they are.
Learned some tips.
Matt Moen. Matt, I got to go back and look at did you have a special ice cream for
Oh,
Memorial Day? And I hope you've got something for 250th coming
Oh,
up. You got to
yeah.
have something for that.
all right. Royal Scoop, you're on alert.
You're on the hotline. He knows I call him and bug him. But now he's gotten big time. He goes, well, I can't move as fast as I did because I have to take it back to the group and the committee and learn to. And I'm like, oh my God.
We'll get moving.
He done growed up.
He did. He did.
Okay. And who is this?
Oh, that is
Who's go-
myself.
Yeah.
And I am a partner here with the podcast, Icons of Naples. We're bringing that actually into the studio in June. We're going to restart that. You can still get the episode. The episodes are running. We just have to.
Oh, yeah.
We have to film more is all. And of course, I do coaching and consulting in real estate for a very long time.
There we go. And did we run all through them? Okay.
Yeah.
I
Okay, we got it.
did we get it?
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
All right. This morning I clear seal. Is there a clear seal? Did I just see that?
That one. By the way, you guys, we're backwards.
There we
when we
go.
look
Is
at the
that
screen.
did we do that one? What?
Oh, clear seal. Okay, well, I'll do it. Clear seal curb appeal. Oh, they do pavers.
Ah,
There we go. They seal
Nice
things.
partner to have.
Especially with the weather we have here. With
Whether
the
we
heat,
have
you want to
here
make
and,
sure you
and to
seal
do the
things.
ceiling and all that good stuff. Good. I want to call and ask them a couple of questions. That would be great.
There we go. So this morning.
This morning, where did I hear that? I think it was during one of the speeches over Memorial weekend that the comment was made there would be no Memorial Day without July the 4th, 1776. I thought that was a profound,
Interesting.
obvious statement, but I've never heard it like put out there to the public to think about that.
Never heard it before either.
No, 17, because we know our 250th anniversary,
Coming up.
July the 4th, 1776. That's coming up. Yes, you got to flash it. There we go.
There we go.
And you think about Memorial Day and really what July 4th really meant. And I'm going to have to do some digging for around the area to see what kind of events and so forth they're having. But that was just sort of made me stop and think that
Yeah.
Memorial, even though we didn't start celebrating Memorial Day right at July 4th, 1776, you think of all the names and the people and that have been lost, and I pulled up the number of those people. It's like 1.3 million, I think. Come on.
Oh, wow.
For Memorial Day, and all those that we remember July the 4th for this 250th anniversary. Is that interesting, or I'm just making?
Oh no, I've never thought of it that way, but from a historical context, I mean, it's logical, but I've never heard anybody put it that way either.
No,
I mean, and I had a pretty deep dive into all the constitutional and all those kind of things and how our country and
yeah, because your school wouldn't let you look at anything else.
no, growing up, especially my school, we had so many restrictions at my first school. But then when I went to public school, I had a really great teacher for history. It was called civics back then.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And we deep dive into all the things to do with how we got
Wow.
created and our government and things like that. But I never heard it that way.
Yeah, so
But it makes sense. I mean, you have to have the creation of a country in order to thank the servicemen and women who sacrificed for the country and have a remembrance for them.
So I
So-
found the piece. I had sent it to Wayne. Thankfully, I still had it on his phone. Since 1776, the number of people that have passed away. I wonder if I can send this to D. Has been. Come on, don't do me that way. Don't embarrass myself again after coughing. 1,300,000.
There we go.
1,320,225.
Wow.
So from 1775 to today. And what do you think was the largest group?
World War II.
Civil War.
Really? Oh, wow.
Civil War had 625,000.
Oh, well, I guess that kind of, especially where they fought back then and the lack of
Where,
protection.
yeah, that bless,
I mean, they've
bless
just
all
fought-
of their hearts. Now,
Open fields.
yeah, in World War II, there was 405,000.
Wow.
400.
It's just incredible.
And so when you just think about all of those, and when you look at, and of course, Vietnam was 58,000.
I think people say that they think that it was bigger because of the length of it, but also it was the first one really televised. Like it got a lot of
Vietnam?
Vietnam.
Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah,
that
even
was the
though it was
first.
a smaller number, it got more attention. Because
And so I'm going to put this up on my page and put it out there, but I just really,
put it out there.
on Memorial Day and July 4th, we have to thank all of these patriots
Mhm.
who fought in all of these.
We wouldn't be able to sit here and tell everybody our opinions
Yeah.
if it wasn't for their
They were able
sacrifice.
to click us off and you wouldn't have to listen to it. But that I thought that's going to stick with me. I'm going to have to think about that for a while and
Mm.
do some little Googling and see if other people are paying attention to it.
I've
You know,
never heard the number.
yeah,
I've
that's
never heard the
crazy,
number
isn't it?
either.
That's crazy.
And
I'll send it to you so you have
yeah,
it for
please
the
do.
record. Yeah.
Please do.
Yeah, I will definitely
Put
do
it in my
that.
folder. Share it next Memorial Day.
Yep. And let's see. We have did I send this? Somebody sent
We have
something?
so many things.
Oh, Kristen sent that in. We always like to be on a happy note, but we just want to say,
Yeah, this isn't not a I'm not when I thought of it, it
yeah,
wasn't to disparage people.
oh, but it's to wake up. Stop.
It's more about for those of you who don't know, the gentleman who passed away in California on Memorial Day. He was a big, they called him a Trump supporter, but I think he was just a big,
American supporter.
they called him the Trump house, but I don't see any Trump flags there. There's just a lot of American flags. And he was a veteran and he passed away on Memorial Day, but because somebody beat him up
Because they didn't like his flags.
because they didn't like his flags. And the way that I look at it is there might have been a president I didn't like along the way. I can think of a couple off the top of my head in my lifetime. Actually several. From both sides of the aisle. But one thing I always went back to is the flag. Because we are one nation. And all the people who live here, including this gentleman who disagrees. But if it wasn't for those million sacrifices, we wouldn't be able to have our opinions, but he was also entitled to his opinion. And I think we just need to take a pause when things like this happen and say, what am I saying online? What am I saying in my life that might be contributing to either side
Yeah.
of violence, any violence or any animosities? I think it just comes down to respect. I don't like a lot of people's opinions. I got to tell you, at my age, you know, when you turn 50, you're just like, I'm done.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily have to voice it to them or dislike them just because of the way they believe. I just look at them and I say, I don't agree with that. But as a human being, they're still human beings.
Yeah.
Whatever your race, your color, gender, who you like to love, I don't care. You're still a human being. So I think we just need to get back to basics
Yeah.
of being human to each
Yes,
other.
being human. Yeah. Yeah. I really, really felt bad for that. The whole,
And the reason,
situation that happened.
the reason I bring it up is this gentleman happened to be a neighbor of a very good friend of mine from the Jeep community.
Oh.
So that's the only reason I got a little bit more passionate about it. I mean, normally I am passionate about these things, regardless of what side.
Right.
But this was like, I saw my friends and his family and his children's heartbreak for their neighbor who they've known for years living in Cali, like years,
Years.
20 years or something. So, you know, it hit a little bit closer to home. I didn't know him, but I knew people who did. So that's why I brought it up. Let's be a little human when we go out there in the world today, guys.
Be
Girls,
nice.
everybody, just be nice. If you don't like something, you don't have to say it. You can just be like, okay, and move on. Move on with your day and enjoy it.
And have a good day.
Yeah, don't let stuff like this. If you don't agree with it, don't let it harbor in you.
Hey, Rock Republic. I just happened to pull this. Rock Republic is going to be,
Where are they going
it's
to
for the weekend, this Saturday at Sports Park. I say Sports Park
Really?
at
Paradise Park?
Paradise Coast Sports Complex.
Oh,
And it's,
okay. Everybody
I think
loves
it's
them.
free. Oh, yeah. It's a free event too. So
Oh, well, there you go.
I will, a Rocking a Pirate Palooza. That's a cute little thing, but I'm going to put it up on my page and we'll talk
For
about it
those of you
on
still
Friday, a
here.
free event.
For those of you still here, for the year rounders, this is a good year rounder event.
Yep. That
Kick
sounds kind of
things
fun.
off, and it's free.
Jim Doe. I wonder if Jim Doe's going to be there. I'll find out.
You'll find out on Friday when
Yes,
he's here.
right. 5 to 10. All right. I think we have
We
hit
are
that
there.
magical hour. Well, we did. We hit the magical hour. I really enjoyed chatting with him.
I told you,
do kind of remember him, but it's just one of those.
he's just a wealth of knowledge, and I love the way he created it. You know, it's
Oh,
scary being an entrepreneur and taking that leap, but
I love this. Born of good intentions. I
Born
think
of
that's a
good
wonderful thing. It's kind of like 239 Live. Born of
good intentions.
There you go.
100%. Well, thanks everybody for joining us today.
On behalf of Kevin, Miss D, and all the people in our studio audience, hit the applaud button.
Oh, which one is that?
Yay! All right. Thank you, and have a great week.
Bye, everyone.